Good afternoon, CMS alumni, friends, and families, and welcome to the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the class of 2022. This year's class marks the 31st class of Hall of Fame inductees. This group consists of 13 Athenas and Stags, making it the largest CMS Hall of Fame class ever. The 2022 inductees include team captains, national champions, multiple-time All-Americans, All-Region, All-SCIAC, and SCIAC Athletes of the Year. The program outlines a detailed list of accomplishments of our inductees. Additionally, tonight we will be celebrating the installation of Erica Perkins Jasper as the CMS William B. Arcee Director of Athletics, Physical Education, and Recreation and George R. Roberts Fellow. The 13 outstanding individuals being inducted this year are Chris Blees, CMC, class of 2011 for basketball. Felicia Davis, CMC, class of 2001 for basketball. Sarah Dick, CMC, class of 2011 for lacrosse. Donovan Jones, CMC, class of 1984 for tennis. Chris Noyes, CMC, class of 1992 for tennis. Annie Parazzolo, CMC, class of 2011 for swimming. Jason Reed, CMC, class of 2001, swimming. Matthew Roberson, CMC, class of 2006, track and field. RJ Romero, CMC, class of 1989, soccer. Liesl Smith Moran, CMC, class of 2007 for swimming. Ken Stevens, Harvey Mudd College founding class of 1961 for football, who will be inducted today posthumously. Ryan Teeples, CMC, class of 1991 for swimming. And Louise Tench Willard, Scripps College, class of 1997, track and field and cross country. To get the festivities started, please welcome the current Director of Athletics for CMS, Erica Perkins Jasper.
Thank you, Jim, for that great welcome and your wonderful announcing voice. I just can't quantify how great it feels to be back together in community to celebrate Stag and Athena greats. It's also great to look out into the crowd and see a number of our Hall of Famers from past classes. For our Hall of Famers, can you please stand up and be recognized? Or you can wave. As you heard, this year's class is truly remarkable. So outstanding that we thought it would be best to run the numbers. And those results were impressive. This year's class accounts for 12 SCIAC Athlete of the Year awards, 72 SCIAC individual titles, and 39 SCIAC team championships. In addition, we have 76 All-American certificates, which I didn't think was possible for 13 people. It's incredible. And 9 national titles. In addition to their athletic prowess, what you'll learn today is these Athenas and Stags were incredible students, inspirational teammates, and they made those around them better on a daily basis. To our inductees, today is your day. Enjoy the moment and all the love in the room, or in this case, the track. And thank you for setting an incredible example for today's and future Stag and Athena Scholar Leader athletes. Enjoy the evening.
Our first inductee today is Chris Blees for basketball. Chris was a 3-time SCIAC Player of the Year and twice named second team All-West Region at forward. He helped lead the Stags to a 3 SCIAC championship, regular season championships, and 3 SCIAC tournament titles, and 3 NCAA Division III playoff appearances.
My favorite memory of Chris Blees is the semifinals of the SCIAC Championships. We have a packed crowd at Ducey Gym, and it's a small gym, so it's tough to hear in there. It's a tight game, and I think Calou scores with about 20 seconds left, and I look over to Blees, and I give him the sign, the fist, run poison. I mouth it, because you can't hear anything. Chris turns and wants to yell out poison to the rest of the guys, but they can't hear him. So he turns to the crowd and says, "Shut the blank up." And there's just a dead, eerie silence in Ducey Gym. You can't hear anything. We throw the ball to Blees at the elbow. He knifes through 2 defenders, finishes, gets fouled, hits the free throw. Chris wasn't trying to be mean. Like when I approached him after the game, "Chris, you can't yell, shut the blank up to the crowd." He says to me, "Coach, I was trying to call an audible to my friends."
It's hard to pick a single favorite memory. I'll either go with the infamous triple pump fake or the time he yelled at our own fans because he couldn't hear the play call.
Chris was a standout Stag, and he was like a separator. So physically, as a basketball player, he was able to do something a lot of guys couldn't do. Chris felt the game was getting close. He would literally just go score like 3 or 4 baskets in the next 5 possessions, and we would go from a 2-point lead to an 8-point lead. He just has that way to put the team on his back and separate from the other team. Chris is the type of leader that drives his teammates, and I mean drives them in a good way. They want to come more prepared, and they want to go a little bit harder. And a part of it is maybe when you're a younger player, you might be nervous with the wrath of Blees. But as time goes by, you understand it comes from a very, very good place, and one that you cherish and you want on your team.
Chris Blees is both a legendary Stag and the GOAT. It's the most reassuring feeling in the world to have him in your corner and know at any moment he could just take over, put the team on his back, and drag you to victory. His will to win, competitive drive to overcome any odds, never being intimidated by the moment, and his most effective yet incredibly slow Euro step as he weaves his way through traffic on his way to the basket are unparalleled. Also, I just love the guy, so congrats, Bleezy.
Chris, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. It's a deserved honor for you. You're a tremendous player. Boy, I slept better all 5 years that I had you, knowing that you're on the court for me. I'm proud of you. As a basketball coach, you got so much better each and every year, and everyone would pat me on the back, and you brought that to the program. I think the thing that I love about you the most is you asked me to marry you, and that we're that close, and I'm always there for you, and I appreciate your friendship, and I love seeing you be a dad and a good husband, and I'm just really proud of you, and I'm always there for you.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, Chris Blees. Presenting Chris with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is current CMS men's basketball head coach, Ken Scalmanini.
Thank you. If anybody knows who edited the video, it would be great if we could talk after this. But no, in all seriousness, it's a tremendous honor, and I'm incredibly humbled and grateful to even be considered alongside the rest of the group here and the group that's part of this stellar Hall of Fame at CMS. It's funny, we were walking around the new gym earlier in the campus, and everything starts to come back. It's not just the numerous practices, games, wins and losses. It's more just the effect that this community and this program has on you once you get outside of the lines or outside of the pool. As the video showed, me and Coach Galley aren't actually married, but he officiated our wedding, so we can make that clear for now. But it's the long-standing impact that everybody that you meet here continues to have once your time here is done. It's everybody who's in this Hall of Fame obviously has tremendous achievements and was incredibly successful on the court and in the classroom. But what really warms my heart and makes me proud to be a part of this is the long-standing impact and how this program and community and every individual here shapes who you are, not just while you're here, but moving forward. So again, I'll keep it short. I know it's hot, and we all would like to run over there and get some water, but again, incredibly humbled, honored, and just couldn't be more proud to be a part of this group. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Next up, we're celebrating Felicia Davis from basketball. Felicia is the first Athena basketball player to be named first team All-SCIAC in each of her first 4 seasons, while earning all-academic and all-region honors. She helped lead the Athenas to the SCIAC championship during her senior season and an NCAA tournament appearance.
In thinking about Felicia Davis and memories, and one of them was her first game against Pomona Pitzer in what we call the rivalry game. She scored 33 points as a first-year player and certainly left her mark in the games with the cross-the-street rival. People would say about her that she would always seem to be in the right place at the right time. She was a 4-year all-conference player, but she seemed to get better every year, and she made her game stronger every year. As an example, her freshman year, she only took 10 three-point shots the entire season. She made 1 out of the 10. When it got to the point her senior year, she made dozens of three-pointers, and she ended up being our best three-point shooter ever in history, shooting over 40% from the field on three-point shots. And she's the only player in CMS history to shoot better than 40% on three-point shots.
An opposing SCIAC coach told Felicia that she was a pretty good mid-range shooter. But if she wanted to be at another level, she's got to extend it out to the three-point range. That summer, she went home and shot over 500 threes a day.
She made me a better coach. Felicia has a way of getting her point across in such a positive tone that we all want to do, or really try to do, what she's asked us to do. She's an exceptional person, basketball player, teammate, and I am honored to have coached her.
I think that she's the best Athena's basketball player we've ever had. Felicia was a great teammate in that she wanted to win, and she conveyed that to her teammates, and particularly that senior year. She pushed people to perform and to get to levels of excellence. She was a leader on campus. She was involved. She didn't shy away from anything. She was very assertive in being supportive of her teammates. So she just has these qualities and these intangibles that set her to the point of raising to the level of the Hall of Fame, and just being a very standout athlete and being a standout student athlete and being a standout person.
Congratulations, Felicia. You've earned it. And I guess this officially makes you the best basketball player in the family.
Congratulations, Felicia, on your well-deserved induction into the CMS Hall of Fame. You have been a fabulous person, player, teammate, and a friend. Thank you.
But there's only one Felicia Davis, and she's a Hall of Famer. I'm so honored to be a part of this. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. Congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame.
Felicia, at this time, I just wanted to say thank you and congratulations and welcome. It's an honor and a privilege to bring you into the CMS Ted Ducey Hall of Fame. It's a great organization and association with a lot of many people from throughout the CMS family and the CMS history. So congratulations to you, and we're very, very happy to have you come on board as one of the newest inductees to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, Felicia Davis. Presenting Felicia with her CMS Hall of Fame plaque is Mike Haas, Class of 1979, CMC.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee. Chris said I could use some of his time, so I'm going to use it. Congratulations to all of the inductees, in particular Jason Reed, my classmate, who's a tremendous swimmer, and Chris, who was my brother's roommate and teammate and who I got to see play all the time and was just a tremendous Stag basketball player. Thank you so much, Mike Haas, for coming and for inducting me. I know it's tax season, which is an incredibly busy time, and I really appreciate you being here. You know, when I was a freshman, I met Mike, and he did the stats for our team, and Jody said, you know, if you need help with math, you should go meet Mike. And I didn't really need help with my math, but I really loved hanging out with Mike, and so I would go see him on Sundays. He would be in Coach Wells' office doing stats by hand, and just was a tremendous mentor and has always been so supportive of me and so helpful, so I really appreciate you being here. You know, I think if you were to ask many of my friends, my husband, my family, to describe me in one word, it would often be competitive. And I don't think they would all be saying that as a compliment. I think when I was in college, winning was the most important thing to me, and it is what I focused on probably above all else. And I was so proud when we won the SCIAC championship our senior year with like 8 people on the team. It was so hard, but it was so worth it. But I was asked recently to write about that game or that season, and someone told me, you know, you played Whittier in the final game of the season, and you were tied with Whittier for first place, so whoever won the game would win SCIAC. And the game went into overtime, and you guys won in overtime. And I was shocked because I didn't remember any of that. I mean, here was the biggest, best game of my career, and I didn't remember those things. And I was really surprised because I was so competitive and I wanted to win so badly. I can't believe that, you know, 20 years later, I don't remember it. But I mean, what I remember is just all of the people involved, right? I remember Jody and Coach Wells. I remember her sharing Coach Wells' last 2 years of his life with us. And, you know, he was so sick and he had a trach and he couldn't talk or yell. And so if he wanted your attention, he would either throw a clipboard or like smack it really hard with his hand, and you would have to run over and he would cover the trach and he would whisper to you what he wanted you to do. And the fact that Jody and the boys would share the last 2 years of his life with us is just really remarkable, and it was such a special, special time. And I remember my teammates, I remember Aubrey, just being the most tremendous teammate and supporter. I remember our friends being at the games. I just remember really the people, and we've all been through so much together. There've been loss, there's been love, there's been just a tremendous, kind of lives lived. And I really have basketball and CMS and CMC generally to thank for that, and it's just been so terrific. I really do want to thank my parents also. We grew up on a very small island, and my dad would take me, I remember he would pick me up on the ferry on the other side, and we would go to the University of Washington women's basketball games when people didn't really go to watch women's basketball. And then he would take me when I was older to my travel games, and now that I'm an adult and I have to work all the time, I appreciate how hard that is. But he never made us feel that it was hard. He always made us feel like it was there was nowhere else he would rather be. And my mom was also just a tremendous supporter. My biggest memory of my mom growing up is just when we would watch basketball or other sports on TV, and after the game, everyone would be shaking hands, and she would always point out to me, like, do you see how nice they're shaking hands after the game? And now I realize that that's because, I was very competitive and I only wanted to win, and I appreciated her kind of sharing that with me. There's just obviously so many more people, and I know I'm going to run out of time, but I really do want to thank my high school basketball coach, Sandy, who was always a tremendous advocate for girls in sports and who really gave up so much of her life and had dedicated so much of her life to us. Jody, who's obviously dedicated her life to women in sports, and without her, none of us would be here. All of the people who I got to coach with, Michelle, DT, it's just been such a tremendous honor and such a great place. And I just also want to say thank you to my husband, who's just has really taught me that really nothing is unattainable or out of reach. And I really appreciate all of your support. So thank you and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Felicia. And congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Our next Athena inductee is Sarah Dick for lacrosse. During her 4 seasons with CMS, the Athenas made 4 trips to the NCAA Division III championships and won the program's first 2 SCIAC championships. As an attacker, Sarah was a prolific scorer, graduating as the Athenas' all-time leader in goals at 203, and an all-region, All-American selection, as well as a SCIAC Player of the Year.
Sarah Dick was truly exciting to watch. I've seen a lot of lacrosse in my day, and to this day, she is one of the most exciting players I've ever seen play the game. The creativity, the dexterity, and the grace with which she played the game were truly unparalleled. She was that player on the field that you couldn't take your eyes off of. Every time she had the ball, you knew something exciting was going to happen. She didn't just score. When every time she scored, there was a little bit of extra razzle-dazzle to it. You knew something cool was going to happen when she had the ball. She didn't just create opportunities for herself, but opportunities for her teammates. She was truly a special athlete. You know, she really seemed to embody the expression, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And for her, it wasn't just about her having fun. She was always looking for ways to get others in on the fun. You know, Sarah Dick could hold the record for all time if she wanted to. She could have scored twice as many goals in her college career. But for her, it wasn't about being the leading goal scorer. For her, it was just as important that her teammates have as much fun as she was having, that she get others involved. When it became too easy for her to score, she had no problem taking a step back from the spotlight and giving others an opportunity to shine. I mean, some of the most prideful moments that I have looking back on her college career are those opportunities where she helped her teammates be successful. That's a true leader. Sarah Dick really embodies and really enabled our team to be successful. Sarah Dick has to be a no-brainer for this induction today and this recognition. She raised the bar for Athena lacrosse. Quite literally, she put our program on the map. She put West Coast Division III lacrosse on the map. She's not just one of the best Athenas ever. She's quite possibly one of the best players to play in our conference ever, in our region ever. She earned the respect of every opponent we ever played. I'll never forget an opposing coach coming up to me after a game and saying, "Man, I've watched a lot of film on number 11. She's even better in person." We earn the respect of a lot of our opponents thanks to the contributions of Sarah Dick. She really is an exceptional player and somebody that has earned this recognition today.
Massive congratulations, Sarah, on your induction into the CMS Hall of Fame. What an accomplishment, and I couldn't think of a better person to receive this award. From your crazy socks on the field, to your face paint, to your winning attitude, you were the best teammate a person could ask for. You pushed us not only off the field, but on the field, and you really raised the CMS lacrosse bar. Go Athenas.
Congratulations, Sarah. I'm so proud of your accomplishment. It was such an honor and joy to coach you. You've left an indelible mark on our program, and I'm so excited that your legacy will live on in this Hall of Fame. Go Athenas.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, Sarah Dick. Presenting Sarah with her CMS Hall of Fame plaque is former Athena's lacrosse teammate and current assistant coach, Jennifer Cohen.
Oh, what fun. That was exciting to watch. Ginger was a fantastic coach. She did make one mistake on that film. I'm not number 11, I was number 1. which was very cocky, and I should have chosen another number. But I wanted to quickly say thanks to Mike Sutton, Chris Watts, Erica, and the rest of the crew that put this on together. Let's give them a round because thank you. It was, I'm sure, a very challenging task that we are well aware of to get all of us here with our family and friends and supporters. So thank you all. Gosh, that was really fun watching back. It reminds me of so many funny things. I know that some of my teammates are watching virtually, so I'm standing here alone today, but lacrosse is a team sport, and the first thing I wanted to say was that I accept this on behalf of all of my amazing teammates. I did score a lot of goals. I had the easy part, the defenders and the goalies, and my God, the midfielders. I wasn't a great runner. They had to do all the hard work, and by the time they got it to me at the very end of the field, that was the easy part. So for them, I'm very grateful. Ginger mentioned, lacrosse kind of being up and coming on the West Coast, and we were well aware of that. It was a really exciting time to be a part of the lacrosse sort of movement in the West, and by the time we left, it was spreading like wildfire. We had opportunities to coach out here. There were young girls coming to our campus to play lacrosse, so it's really inspiring to know that the program is in such great hands with my teammate Jen and Lauren, who are doing a great job with it. We all watch games online, and we're rooting for the current team. I think about, Ginger and the nice things she had to say about me, and we had a lot of fun on the field. We also had a lot of fun off the field. There was a time when Ginger really disapproved of my skateboarding to class. I used to do it barefoot and very fast, and so she would just look at me every time I showed up to practice on my skateboard. And so one time we decided to mess with her, and I showed up in crutches, and we told her that I tore my MCL, which I do feel badly about now, but it was good to just twist the needle. She made us run a lot. We had a great team as a testament to how fantastic the rest of the players were who aren't up here with me today, and covered for all of my weaknesses. I can remember one time in a game, I think it was an NCAA playoff game, when I, for better or for worse, got stuck on defense, which was unusual for me. I was very comfortable at the far end of the field on attack, and I was following someone into our end, and Ginger called a timeout because I got stuck on defense. So it is a testament to how talented the rest of the crew was that I played with. It was probably a very scary moment for her. I'd like to thank my family for being here. My parents made all the sacrifices to get me here, from all those early morning hockey practices to all the West Coast travel, and wouldn't be here without you, so thank you. Love you too, Dad. And to Tom for being my supporter, as I now am a retired athlete. I play a lot of paddle tennis and beer league hockey, and he always is there to take care of me when I injure myself because I think I'm playing in the Olympics. To my brother, who I attribute a lot of my athletic prowess in the past tense to, because I just wanted to be like him and follow him around and play in the streets with the boys, and I can very much attribute any good lateral footwork I had to the fact that he asked me to be his bunny rabbit and run through the woods while he shot his paintball gun at me from the back porch. So you can have half of my stats, Christopher. Lastly, to Claremont, everyone always says college it's the best 4 years of your life. I knew that when I was here. I'm very grateful for all the fun on and off the field, and we were well aware that we were in the best place on earth. Somebody called it Disney World today. That's quite accurate. Congratulations to Annie Perizzolo and Chris Blees, who were friends of mine while I was here. It's so fun to be inducted with you all. And to my teammates, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. We now turn our attention to Donovan Jones and tennis. Jones was a member of the 1981 NCAA Division III National Championship team, which carries the distinction as the first ever NCAA team championship for a CMS program. That year, as a freshman, Jones won the NCAA individual singles title, went on to become a multi-year All-American and All-SCIAC player.
My favorite athletic memory of Donovan Jones was in May of 1981 at the NCAA D3 Men's Tennis Championships at Salisbury State, Maryland. We sent 4 singles players and 2 doubles teams to the championships. I won my first match, lost my second. Captain Bob Mullen did the same. Donovan Jones, our number 2 player, won his first match, won his second match, won his quarters, won his semis, and going into the finals, he had already single-handedly given us 5 points. If Donovan won his match in the finals, he would become the singles champion, and we would become team champions. It was an exciting match. He played against a great player, Bud Schultz from Bates College, who would go on to become number 40 in the world. Donovan lost the first set, but then got on a roll, won the second set, then Schultz broke him, held serve, and broke him again to tie the match at 5-all in the third set. In the next game, Donovan broke Schultz and then held for a 7-5 in the third victory. He became singles champion, and for the first time ever, the Stags were NCAA D3 champs. Donovan exhibited great sportsmanship throughout his career. I never saw him lose his cool on the court, and I never saw him get into any altercations with anyone, for those reasons that he is a Hall of Famer. Donovan Jones, it is a pleasure and honor to have you as a friend, teammate, and doubles partner. And on behalf of the entire CMS athletic program, I congratulate you on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Go Stags!
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Donovan Jones. Presenting Donovan with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is Stags teammate Bill Konya, Harvey Mudd College, class of 1983.
Well, thanks for that fine introduction, Bill. Also thanks to CMS Athletics for this great honor. Congratulations to my fellow inductees today. And also thanks to Coach Hank Krieger. Although it's been 40 plus years since those championships, I still have a few memories of that time that stand out. The night before, the team was invited to an old-fashioned dorm room party with a keg in the corner. And a couple of us went, including Bill and I, and I think Bill either took it upon himself or maybe was suggested by Coach to keep an eye on me to make sure I didn't drink too much or chase that attractive young lady I was interested in. So, there was a team effort both on the court and off the court. The next day, when I got to the tennis courts to play the final round match, I saw some large television cameras on the court. And I learned that a company was going to record the match for later broadcast on a thing called cable television, which was brand new then. And the company, which I'd never heard of before, it only specialized in sporting events. And it had some funny initials for its name. It was called ESPN. So I guess on some subconscious level, I wanted to give them their money's worth, and so the match went to 3 sets. I was down 5-2 in the third, and at that point I decided, I guess, that I wanted to actually win the match, and won the next 5 games in a row, and won it. After the match, I was interviewed by a local newspaper reporter who asked me how it felt to win, and of course it was great. But then I said something in my great immaturity, something like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't include it on my resume. I'm sure Coach, I think when he read that, he asked me about it and just shook his head. Filed it under dopey things freshmen say. But I guess I'll just close by saying that despite my poor choice of words, then I actually have included it on my resume all these many decades. So thank you.
Thank you, Donovan, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Donovan is not the only Stags tennis player being inducted today. Next up is Chris Noyes. Noyes helped lead the Stags to 3 SCIAC championships, 4 top 10 finishes as nationals, 10th, 3rd, and 4th. He also won an NCAA Division III doubles national championship with partner Ryan McKee. Chris is another multi-year All-SCIAC and All-American.
All I remember is a guy who played at the baseline, never came to the net, but never was out of a point. He was always the last man on the court. His motto was, baby, hit 100 balls in a row if the other guy hits 99. Well, Chris was not a very heralded high school player, and when he came to CMS, he basically was strictly a baselineer. But he decided that he would try and really improve his game, and with the work with a really great assistant coach that we had, Diego Jaramillo, he became a really good volleyer. And so by the time he was a junior, he actually was playing in the doubles, and of course ended up winning the national doubles championship his senior year. Chris was a great teammate in his senior year. He was a captain of the only team that we've ever had in which every player ultimately was an All-American. There was 4 players that his senior year that were All-American, and the 2 freshmen that year ultimately at least made All-American twice later on in their career. So that was quite a team for him to be the head of. They all had great respect for him, even though they had all been much better players in the juniors than he was. Well, I think that anybody in tennis who wins a national championship is deserving of it. In the days when he was playing, you only could make All-American if you were a quarterfinalist in the singles or a semifinalist in the doubles. And I think anybody that could win that national championship in tennis is certainly deserving of being a Hall of Famer. He was like Mr. Clutch for us. Chris, I was really pleased to learn that you had been nominated for the Stags Hall of Fame. It's an honor greatly deserved, and I really am happy that you are here in order to receive that award today.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Chris Noyes. Presenting Chris with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is CMS Hall of Fame tennis coach Hank Krieger.
Well, that was memories 30 years ago, almost to the day. And probably, I haven't been back to campus maybe in 25. So it's been a very reflective moment for me. Certainly want to offer congratulations to all the other nominees today, or the inductees today. Fantastic accomplishments, quite impressive. As I was thinking about today and what I might like to say, my journey to Claremont started for academics. I wanted to come to Claremont for school. I envisioned I was going to play college basketball, and that's how I came here. And in the fall, I had some conversations with Hank, and he said, hey, you should maybe play tennis. We're a nationally ranked team. It's maybe the right way to go. And I said, okay. And so I pivoted. Didn't think I was playing tennis at Claremont. And in 4 years, I was able to grow from probably a pretty tough junior in the tennis in Southern California to be able to really, accomplish something. And that goes to the heart of my teammates who we played every day for 4 years. In particular, a colleague of mine, Eric Chan, who both of us as the freshmen, we played each other. I don't know how many times we played. We practiced all summer, and we each made each other better. I would like to thank my partner in national senior year, Ryan McKee, who allowed me to finish with a win as my last competitive match. Haven't really played competitively since, so unbelievable experience for me. As I thought about what I took away from my experience at Claremont, a couple things. One is, just as you could see, I had sort of that grinding tennis mentality. For those who are familiar with it, I was a little bit of a backboard, and hard work and the ability to grind and suffer paid dividends for myself as I went through my professional life over the last 30 years. And the ability to believe in oneself and have faith that you do have the ability to accomplish. There's no such thing as a barrier. There's just obstacles that you can surmount. Different ways to surmount them, but if you believe, you can do it. And as I think about, and I probably didn't fully appreciate it at the time or have words to describe it 30 years ago, but the importance of culture is critical and a hallmark of successful organizations. And as I think about what makes an organization great, like a college, a business, a team, you have a unified vision, you have a sense of community, you have mutual respect and trust, you have empathy, kindness. And in just coming back in 36 hours of interacting with folks like Mike and Erica and all the folks I've met in the last day and a half, it's just so exciting to see it thriving and that the school has been able to continue what made Claremont really special so long ago. And most organizations, it's hard to create it, it's hard to continue it. And I think it's a testament to the faculty and the school and the athletics and all the students to be able to continue it, to make it a really rich experience, and one that you just have a lot of positive feelings about. And I do want to just say thanks to a couple people, certainly Coach Hank and Diego Jaramillo, who probably spent many, many hours hitting lots and lots of balls with me for 4 years. And to my parents who made Claremont, they sacrificed a lot to get me to school. And forever grateful for that. And then my family, some of them back in Colorado watching on the stream, and my daughter Hannah, who's here as well. I did play tennis. They don't believe me. They didn't see it so long ago, but I think it was all right back then. But thanks for your love and support, and I'm excited about the journey that my two teenage daughters, Hannah and Laura, are going to take in the next few years, and I hope they find their CMS or CMC experience. It's truly special to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. From the tennis courts now to the pool, and a tremendous Athena swimmer in Annie Perazzolo. Perazzolo was the Athena's first multiple event NCAA champion, winning the 100 and 200-yard breaststroke events at the 2010 NCAA Division III Championships, while leading the team to a program best fifth-place team finish. She was a 3-year All-American in 13 events, Skyac Swimmer of the Year, and recognized for 3 consecutive years as CMC's Female Athlete of the Year.
My favorite memory of Annie as a swimmer, there are a lot to choose from. A lot of big dual meet swims, a lot of big relay legs, but definitely something that stands out to me was her 200 breaststroke at nationals during her final year. Annie had developed into the best breaststroker in the nation that year, entered NC2As with the fastest seed time, and then as the meet went on, she had the fastest relay split in the 200 medley relay, fastest relay split in the 400 medley relay, won the 100 breaststroke, had the fastest time in prelims of the 200 breaststroke. By the time we got to finals, there wasn't a question of whether she would win or not, just by how much. And when Annie dove in and built a lead in that race, you just sat there thinking, I'm watching greatness. Annie being a standout Athena, there was just so much laughing. She would race anybody in practice. She worked as hard as anyone, but every day she found a way to enjoy the grind, enjoy the process, and it was just a lot of fun to be around her. There's no doubt that Annie is a CMS Athletic Hall of Famer. She was undefeated in breaststroke races throughout her entire SKYAC career. She helped the team to multiple SKYAC championships. At the NC2A level, won 2 national championships, led 2 of our relays to their highest ever finishes, and to the team to their 2 highest ever finishes. Tremendous stuff. Annie, congratulations on your induction into the CMS Athletics Hall of Fame. It was a lot of fun coaching you during your career. You're one of the all-time greats. Congratulations.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Annie Perazzolo. Presenting Annie with her CMS Hall of Fame plaque is current CMS swim and diving coach Charlie Griffiths.
All right, I'm not as practiced at public speaking as I am swimming, so mine will probably be a little quick. But I want to first thank everyone for showing up. Thanks to everyone that is hosting this. Congratulations to everyone else. I am super pumped, honestly, Sarah and Chris, to be coming in with you guys. It's, I'll say, a treat to be the first in 2011. It's fun to do it with you too. So many people think of swimming as an individual sport, and it's just not what I think at all. You need the team, you need the coach. I'll say that outdoor pool isn't a bad thing to add in there. I'm from Colorado, so the snow isn't very fun. CMS had such a strong history of swimming when I came in, right? I remember looking at the website and seeing people like Susie Nicoletti, who had set all the breaststroke records and won an event, and Liesel, who won an event not too soon before I came to college, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh, these women are all so great. How do I do this? So following those footsteps was awesome, and then I can say I came in with a freshman class that was so fast, and everyone was so committed, and again, that team aspect of it helped us all get through it. And you know, each year I think of it, like I was only here for 3 years, but each of those 3 years, every swimmer kept raising the bar. Every point mattered, every swim mattered, and that was my favorite part of the entire time. I could probably list like 30 people I swam with, but I don't want to go through everyone's name, but I can say like every race I cheered for, I loved, and I was so thankful for everyone cheering for me as well. And if I had one takeaway from my time here, it's really that, and it still applies today, you know, in my work meetings day to day, but it's just to show up and do what you can do. Every point makes a difference. Every little thing you do that, you know, makes a difference, and it's a good time. My final thing is to say thank you to a lot of people. First, Mom and Dad. I know swim meets aren't the most fun. The pools are hot and humid. It's a long drive out to California as well, so thank you both for, I want to say like the 8 years you guys did that. Mike Sutton, thanks for being a great athletic director. I don't know where you are, but thanks for being a great athletic director when I was here. Thank you for also coaching my high school swim coach, because that's what got me to Claremont, so I appreciate it. And Coach Charlie, I couldn't have asked for a better coach, mentor, in and out of the pool. You were a significant part of all this, so thanks again.
Thank you, Annie, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Continuing our celebration of excellent CMS swimmers is Jason Reed. Reed won the NCAA Division III National Championship in the 100-yard butterfly. As a senior, capping a career that saw him named SKYAC Swimmer of the Year and winning 11 individual SKYAC championships. To go along with the SKYAC championships on 8 relay teams, and he was a 4-year All-American in 11 individual events and 8 relays.
A favorite memory about Jason was how he loved to race. He would compete, and he was not afraid. He loved to go after people and try to chase them down. To that end, he was really coachable, and it was that competitive fire in him that just kept him improving all 4 years. Jason stands out to me because he inspired his teammates and he really fired up his coaches. He had a way of bringing out his best performances in the biggest moments. It was so great to see him and know we could count on him when we needed him if we were going to be successful in our competition. And I think he loved the top step of the award stand. He worked his way up there every year, tried to get to the top, and in so he helped us to maintain some national presence as well as earning some really neat hardware in the process. I see Jason as a Hall of Famer because he's one of 13 stag swimmers to win a national championship. During his collegiate career, he won 11 out of 12 possible individual titles, and he had 11 scoring swims at NC2As, including a runner-up and a national championship finish in the 100 butterfly. In his time, he also swam 4 out of our 5 relays every year and made key contributions. He really became one of our most successful swimmers at the conference and the national level. As a teammate and leader, Jason strived to be best in all things. It was his honesty and confident humility that mostly endeared him to his teammates. His freshman year, he watched the seniors lead our team, and for the next 3 years, he was selected as a captain of the Stags. At a time when the aquatic program was going through significant change, Jason persevered and excelled throughout his career. Jason, I'm so proud of you for all you have accomplished while you were here and in your life. You were good from your first day in our program, and you got better every year as you went through it. So proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you for your contributions, and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, Jason Reed. Presenting Jason with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is CMS Hall of Famer and former Stags aquatic coach, Mike Sutton, CMC class of 1976.
I knew before I got here I was going to look at the video and just say, wow, but that was a incredible video. And I forgot about the picture where we were jumping over chairs. A couple of my teammates would always try to stack chairs, and we'd try to get over it. We had a lot of free time around the pool. Listen, this is a real privilege to be inducted into this Hall of Fame, especially with 12 other amazing individuals, and a real privilege to have gone to Claremont at all. It was 25 years ago that I first came and visited Claremont, and this place really has changed. I mean, Roberts is impressive, and it's so big. I swear, though, you must have borrowed some space from the pool and made the pool a little bit shorter, because all the new class is putting up times that are like way faster than anything we could have done 25 years ago. You know, like Andy said, it's really easy to think about swimming as an individual sport, but I don't remember it that way. Yamaguchi, Glickman, Lloyd and Shield, who are both here today, Yurka, McAvoy, Blaney. I still don't know your first names, but you guys were everything to me in terms of like making these 4 years matter. We won together, we lost together, we celebrated and we mourned together. Our defeats were softened and our victories sweetened because we did it together. And having that kind of relationship with the team was really special about the time at Claremont. The real thing I have to thank is my parents, though, is you know, looking back, they're the ones that first steered me to the pool. And in part of it, it was because I was too uncoordinated to handle any kind of land sport, so they threw me into the pool because it was an alternative. But being a parent now, I realized that the dedication wasn't only in the pool. It was my dad drove me to work out every day. He took me to swim meets every month, and 25 years ago, he brought me here. So it was very, very special. And I can't thank and be proud enough of like today and everybody else that's being inducted. So thank you.
Thank you, Jason, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. CMS guests, before we continue with our program, we're now going to take a 10-minute intermission to stretch your legs, use the restroom, and so on. We will resume our program in 10 minutes. Restrooms are located in Roberts Pavilion, that is on the pool side. The doors are open. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 5 minutes away from returning to our program. 5-minute warning. This will serve as your 2-minute warning. We will resume our program in approximately 2 minutes. Please start finding your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty at Claremont McKenna College, Heather Anticole.
Hello, it is so good to see you all today. I am going to go off script for a moment because how would I have known how special this event was going to be until I got to see it and feel it and hear how much CMS has impacted the lives of the inductees. This has been such an incredible, eye-opening event for me, and I just want to congratulate each and every one of the inductees today. And I want to thank all your friends and family and alumni and faculty and staff for being here today, and also for allowing me this opportunity to take a little break in the program to honor Erica Jasper. Erica joined CMS and has really done wonders for the program, so I'm just delighted to be able to honor her today as the William B. R.C. Director of Athletics, Physical Education, and Recreation, and George R. Roberts Fellow. Because I went off script now, I have to go a little bit further down my list here. The RC chair is presented to the CMS Athletics Director and recognizes an individual who is an outstanding teacher, scholar, and mentor who has a commitment to academic and athletic excellence and who will build upon the solid foundation established by Coach RC. Erica Jasper came to CMS after serving as the Chief Operating Officer of the Intercollegiate Tennis Association, the governing body of college tennis. The association oversees men's and women's tennis at all levels. Working with 1,700 teams, she worked closely with and made a powerful impact on the lives of coaches, athletic directors, and student athletes across the nation. Prior to joining the association in 2015, Erica had been a head women's coach at the University of New Mexico, Michigan State University, and Georgia Southern University, and an assistant coach at the College of William and Mary. At each institution, her teams improved their competitive records while also winning multiple academic honors. At New Mexico, Erica inherited a team that had won only 17 matches in the prior 3 seasons and coached them to a Mountain West Conference title in her 3rd year. Erica noted when she arrived at the college that it was CMS's deep integration of athletics with all facets of residential liberal arts college experience that drew her to the position. She was selected through a national search with participation from coaches, CMS staff, faculty, students, and staff from all the CMS institutions. The search committee chair and CMC Vice President for Students Affairs, Sharon Basso, noted that out of the large pool of applicants, Erica stood out because she understands the powerful modality that college athletics provides for students to learn teamwork, leadership, perseverance, humility, and other critical skills for success in college and beyond. As a student athlete, Erica was team captain at Washington State University, where she was an academic All-American and received the Pac-10 Conference Medal. She was the first Washington State University player to compete in the NCAA Single Championships 3 times, and also competed for the NCAA Doubles Championship. At Washington State University, Erica was the first player to play in 4 NCAA team championships, and in 2015 was the first tennis player inducted into the Washington State University Hall of Fame. She graduated from Washington State University summa cum laude in history with a minor in French, and she holds a master's degree in education from Washington State University. Erica, would you please join me on stage? As Dean of the Faculty, it is my honor to present you with this medallion. The front features the seal of the college, and the back recognizes you as the William B. R.C. Director of Athletics, Physical Education, and Recreation, and George R. Roberts Fellow. This medallion is a physical representation of the endowed chair that you hold and is worn with your academic regalia. Congratulations, Erica. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know.
Congratulations, Erica, and thank you for your leadership of the CMS Athletics program. We now transition back to celebrating our 2022 Hall of Famers. First up is Matt Roberson, track and field. A two-time NCAA Division III national champion in the decathlon and three-time All-American, Roberson ended his CMS career as the only two-time national champion in program history. Matt closed his career at the SCIAC Athlete of the Year, National Field Athlete of the Year, and CMC's Male Athlete of the Year.
He came to campus with a broken leg. He hobbled around with crutches, a broken body. And that's what I was looking at. So look what happened after that. Now he's being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Watching Matt on his final long jump at the conference meet at University of Redlands win the long jump and breaking the long jump school record, which was held for 53 years prior to him breaking it. The most exciting thing was to see him, after he broke it, run back. He jumped over the bleachers, clearing it totally, and running with the biggest smile on his face. And for those of you that know Matt, you don't see a lot of big smiles on the guy's face. Very quiet. That was truly one of the most exciting things. As a senior at CMC, Matt was the CMC Athlete of the Year, the Conference SCIAC Athlete of the Year, the West Region Athlete of the Year, and he was also the National Athlete of the Year for field event. Only track or cross-country athlete that's ever been voted as the National Athlete of the Year, male or female, which is a pretty phenomenal thing to do, knowing that there's 800 males showing up for national track meet. Matt, as a senior, scored 236.5 points in conference competition. Now, to most people, that's not going to mean a lot. But to give you an idea, that was over 100 points more than the second highest point scorer ever. It's almost double. So Matt scored in almost every event in track in the field, all the jumps, scored in the shot put, the discus, and the javelin, the 400 meters, the 4x4, the intermediate hurdles, and the high hurdles. Amazing thing to be able to do. As a decathlete, you'd figure that's possible, but 3 of those events aren't even in a decathlon. It's been an honor, Matt, to know you, to have a chance to work with you as a CMS athlete and as a track and field athlete, as well as one of my favorite of all-time decathletes. You've been a great enjoyment to have in the program and to watch as an adult, being part of the Rainier Beach Track Club even now, your desire to be a great father, as well as one of the special artists up in Seattle. So you're way more than just an athlete. I think we all know that. But thank you again, and congratulations on your induction into the CMS Athletic Hall of Fame.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, Matt Roberson. Presenting Matt with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is CMS Hall of Famer John Goldhammer, who was the longtime CMS track and field and cross-country coach.
All right, thank you. So as far as being up here, I feel really honored to be a part of this class and all the other inductees. This means a lot to me. I think you heard it in the video, and then even my grandma, who's here right now, is kind of saying like, I haven't really heard my grandson speak that much. You know, what is he going to say? So I think like I have come a long way from where I was at college, where I was pretty reserved. And, you know, I thought I valued humility, you know, being humble and things like that. But yeah, I think I have a lot of people to thank to help me to get to where I am now. Starting with my parents, of course, taking me to lots and lots of different kinds of practices, from soccer to football to track. Those are the main sports I played. My sister, who had to tag along on a lot of those events, who's here. And, you know, just other family members that are here and just really supporting me. And I think I wouldn't be where I was and have kind of this love for like competition and sport in general if it wasn't for like a lot of coaches I had too. So I do want to thank all the coaches that came on my path, and especially Coach Goldhammer. And I think what I wanted to share more is just kind of like how I ended up here. And I think you kind of already got a spoiler. You know, I was very competitive in a lot of different sports. My junior year went pretty well, but my senior year of high school, I did break my leg playing soccer. Compound fracture, 6 months cast, you know, doctors tell me like, you can't play contact sports for a year. We'll see, you know, how it heals. Are you going to run? All that kind of stuff. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I wanted to be on the team my senior year. So I learned kind of by myself some discus, some javelin, and shot put as best I could off kind of like one leg. But Coach Goldhammer, out of all the colleges that used to be talking to me, he was the only one that was still calling me like once a week, checking in on me, just saying, hey, you know, how did your meet go? You know, what marks are you throwing? I didn't know any better if my marks were good or not. I was just telling him, but he kind of kept checking in on me. And I took the visit down here, and I saw the team, and I saw how they were really encouraging each other, and I wanted to be a part of that. And so when I did come here, I was surprised to see, or maybe not surprised, but like it was really completing to see that, like, well, track sometimes does feel kind of like an individual sport. I know like swimmers kind of have that too, like where we have our individual events, but we score points for the team. John really went out of his way to make sure that I felt connected, even being a decathlete, that I would train with throwers, I trained with the sprinters, I trained with the jumpers, that I was a part of the community that this team has. So there's no mistake that why there's so many track and field championship numbers up there in a row. I think it was really the team atmosphere that was built, and I might not have said it with words back then, but I do want to say thank you for you know, just bringing me in on this team and just having everybody support each other and do all the fun things that you don't always get when you get in college athletics. So allowing me to, you know, I had the opportunity to play football 2 years. I messed around and did a season of diving because I had a hole in my schedule that I thought I was going to do football, but I was still hurt. And then just even at the track field, coming up with days that we did like ultimate frisbee for running, doing the Kelly Beck Memorial decathlon weird thing. Kelly Beck is not dead, but but it was the event that Coach came up with, and we just had ways to have fun out there. And I think that's something that I'm trying to take with me to the team that I'm coaching now. I still work with youth, and I think it's a lot of fun to just really bring the fun back into it and have competition be something that drives me, but not kind of be the end-all be-all of what it is. So thank everybody for being out here. I really appreciate the opportunity again to be at CMS and to really represent this program moving forward. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Our next inductee is R.J. Romero for soccer. In each of his 4 seasons, the Stags were SCIAC champions or co-champions. R.J. was tremendous up front for the Stags in goals and assists throughout his career. Along the way, Romero earned first team All-Far West Division III twice, second team All-Far West Division III once, SCIAC Player of the Year, and was a 3-time first team All-SCIAC selection.
RJ was a standout soccer player, and he made very few mistakes. He played with a kind of quiet confidence and that was inspiring to him and to his teammates. And he's one of the very best players I ever coached. In his freshman year, RJ struggled just a bit, and he had a hard time adjusting to the pace of the college game. But as the season wore on, he kept getting better and better. By the end of the year, he was a regular on the team, was playing a lot, and was playing very well.
I recall early in RJ's sophomore season, in a game against Cal Poly, Coach Davis decided to start RJ at center forward. Well, RJ played fantastic that game, culminating in a goal that he hit from about 20 yards out with his left foot. It was a rocket, and it was a jaw-dropping goal. And needless to say, Coach Davis decided that RJ was going to be our center forward for the next 3 years.
RJ was a great leader of the team. He didn't become co-captain until his senior year, but he was a leader from his sophomore year on. He played with a kind of quiet confidence that inspired his teammates. He never complained, either in practice or in games. He never got mad and yelled at his teammates. He just did his work and did his work hard.
RJ's success on the field is much more than the many goals scored, assists made, all-team selections, and MVP accolades. It is the person. He was able to unite individuals and make those around him better, both personally and athletically. He did this by melding camaraderie with a fierce determination to succeed.
RJ's strong and steady leadership, his never-wavering confidence, his laser-like focus, poise and calmness under pressure, his grit and toughness, his fierce determination, his ultra-competitive nature, and his intense, burning desire to win and never give in are at the core of who he is and what makes him stand out.
RJ was a wonderful player, very well deserving of being in the CMS Hall of Fame. He had an outstanding career. He was a regular player by the end of his freshman year and a surefire starter all the rest of his career. He won lots and lots of awards. He was first team all SCIAC 3 years. He was SCIAC Player of the Year his senior year. He was first team all Far West Division III for 2 years, and he was co-captain his senior year, a very well-deserved award for him.
Congratulations, RJ, on your induction into the CMS Hall of Fame. I can't think of a more qualified person in terms of leadership, achievement, and loyalty to your teammates and friends.
RJ, I want to congratulate you very warmly for this honor of being elected to the CMS Hall of Fame. You are one of the very best soccer players I've ever had the privilege of coaching, and one of the best human beings I've ever known. Congratulations, RJ.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer, RJ Romero. Presenting RJ with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is CMS Hall of Famer Steve Davis, who coached the Stag soccer team for 28 years from 1969 through 1997.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank Erica and Mike Sutton for putting this great event on, and I'm honored and privileged to be one of the inductees along with everyone else, so thank you so much. I would like to acknowledge my amazing parents who were incredible role models and always there for me. And I'd also like to thank my family that are here today. My wife, Laura, class of 1990, and my, yes, let's give it a hand, yes. And my children, Jessica, Victoria, and James. Thank you, and thank you for your love and support constantly. I definitely need to thank and share this honor with my teammates and coaches. I'd like to recognize a few of my teammates who are here today. Rusty Blanchard, Armin Tajian, Lou Rudick, and Darren Taylor. They are not just teammates. Thanks to CMC and Stag Soccer, I've been blessed to have them as lifelong friends. We have watched each other's families grow up and have many great memories together. Thank you, gentlemen, for the incredible friendships. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Coach Frank Hind, who could not be here today, but he always encouraged us, motivated us, and inspired us to do our best. and he always emphasized to go in hard on the tackles. And I wouldn't be receiving this honor without the lessons and guidance of Coach Davis. Coach instilled the Stags soccer DNA in all of us, which not only prepared us for each season, but more importantly, prepared us for life. The DNA consisted of determination, integrity, clearly defined goals, overcoming adversity, teamwork, and confidence with humility. A key piece of the DNA was establishing the clearly defined goals. At the beginning of every season, we'd go into a classroom, and Coach Davis would go up to the whiteboard. It might have been called chalkboard, but back then, but whiteboard, and he'd write down our clearly defined goals. And we'd have league championship and national championship as goals, but we'd always have one number one goal above everything else, and that was to beat Pomona Pitzer twice. The players set an additional benchmark of an 8-0 club, and that's all 4 seasons beating Pomona Pitzer twice. So I'm happy to report and very fortunate to report that our class was part of that 8-0 club. So a successful team is not formed overnight. Coach Davis understood this and emphasized team building on and off the field. One such tradition was Foster's Donuts at Coach and Mrs. Davis's home before every Pomona Pitzer game. We were very fortunate to have that extra level of connection at CMC and, more importantly, in the soccer community. So thank you, Coach Davis. Another important component was confidence with humility and teamwork. No one's individual's needs were prioritized above the team's goals. It gave us a different kind of confidence. It was a confidence in the team and in the mutual work we did to prepare. We were confident that as a team, we were prepared to beat any opponent or challenge. CMC, Stag Soccer, and Coach Davis helped to solidify a strong foundation for my life. Coach Davis is one of the most successful soccer coaches of all time. However, what I think is more impressive is the profound impact his program has had on his players. It was not the team's success that made us better people. It was his examples and guidance that instilled lasting character traits in each of us. I will always be extremely grateful for the lessons learned and friendships made at CMC and from being a CMS soccer player. Thank you.
Thank you, RJ, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame.
So, just a little detour here. Coach Davis and I would like to make a one-of-a-kind presentation to a very special person. This person helped facilitate community support of Stag Soccer. This person was a regular at most of our games, both home and away. This person was very passionate about CMS sports teams. We would like to formally pay tribute to Jill Stark, the only first lady of a college to receive a yellow card at a soccer game. Yes. Well, Jill, we'll come to you. We'll come to you. But just to give it some context, it happened, we were playing Laverne, at Laverne, and it was a very heated match. League championship was on the line, and one of the Laverne players did the inexcusable. He spit on one of the Stag soccer players, and Jill saw that, and she ran straight down from the grandstands onto the field and then started to teach this player about civility. So with that, the referee was first amazed, but then had to give Jill Stark a yellow card and did. But not surprisingly, we won the game and we won the championship thanks to Jill Stark's heroic actions. Very good.
From soccer back to the pool, we'd now like to celebrate Liesl Smith Moran as part of an Athena squad that went 28-0 in SCIAC meets, first in program history. Winning 4 straight SCIAC team championships, Smith captured the second individual NCAA Division III national championship in Athena's history in the 400 individual medley. She was a 4-year, 16-time All-American, a 16-time SCIAC champion, SCIAC Female Athlete of the Year, a 4-year All-Academic All-American, along with being a 3-time All-SCIAC water polo player.
My favorite athletic memory of Liesl, I probably should say her 400-yard individual medley national championship. But really, I think too, a practice set that Liesl did earlier that year, a very grueling set. She did multiple 400 IMs in practice, had to get faster on each one. And by the final one, she posted a time that would have qualified for nationals. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is special. I can't wait to see where this goes. What made Liesl a standout Athena swimmer was really her toughness. I remember one year the team purchased sweatshirts and everyone had their names on the back, and Liesl said alpha. She was not afraid to be the alpha dog in the pool. She was someone who had weightlifting gloves. We had never seen an Athena with that level of intensity in the weight room before. Everybody trains hard in practice and breathes hard, but she always seemed to be someone who could take it to another level in workout. And when we got to competition, it was really easy to root for her, just with the approach that she brought every day. Liesl's a CMS Hall of Famer because she changed the definition of what it meant to be good for a generation of Athenas. The year before she arrived, we were able to win a SCIAC championship, but we had no presence at NC2As. And her first year, she was part of a group that placed 11th at nationals and set us on a trajectory to be a national presence for years to come. Liesl was also part of the first generation to go undefeated in SCIAC competition, dual meets, and championship meets. Liesl was someone who could win IM events, backstroke events, breaststroke events, and be a key player on freestyle relays. Liesl, congratulations on being inducted to the CMS Athletics Hall of Fame. It's a tremendous honor and well-deserved.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Liesl Smith Moran. Presenting Liesl with her CMS Hall of Fame plaque is current CMS swimming and diving head coach Charlie Griffiths.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Yes, I have tissues. Warning. All right. First, thank you so much for that wonderful video. A lot of pictures in there with a lot of memories. I'm truly honored to join the CMS Hall of Fame alongside today's impressive and well-deserving class. When Charlie called me with news of this induction, the overwhelming emotions immediately time-warped me back to one of my very first phone calls with him half a lifetime ago. At the time, I was a little irked because my mom interrupted me while I was completely zoned out in the bathtub after a tough practice. Fortunately, I got over myself and took the call. We talked about my travels, my upcoming championship meet, and when it was over, I was kind of stunned. I had been burned by past recruiting calls by coaches who truly didn't treat me as a whole person. Charlie actually cared and respected me. And in retrospect, I realized that that call had been a clear sign of what was to come. I had joined the CMS family with this unique environment, provided the time, space, and energy that would develop me and prepare me for life. The intense and immersive, almost crucible-like experience that is training for nationals as a 400 IMer is something I carry with me always. Even the set that Charlie was talking about really helped me out in this next little line I'll read to you. For example, when I was in labor with our first child, at about the 8-hour mark of what would turn out to be 26 hours, I distinctly remember thinking while taking deep, cleansing breaths and holding my husband's hands, this couldn't possibly be worse than swimming repeat 400 IMs, right? And although there are many similarities between labor contractions and threshold swim sets, The answer is yes. Labor is absolutely worse. But truly, through all of life's tests so far, both personal and professional, I have relied heavily on the lessons of CMS swimming: resilience, dedication, preparation, and balance. So thank you to Coach Charlie for developing a program that pushed me to excel individually and propelled our team through that amazing championship streak. It's a bit counterintuitive, but upon graduation, I looked forward to being pushed off the top 10 lists because it meant the team was stronger and I had done my duty to leave it better than I found it. So to help represent Athena swimming in the Hall of Fame is a great honor. Thank you to all my teammates, both Stags and Athenas, and especially the national teammates like Lynn, Lauren, Jordan, Kevin, and Danielle, who's here tonight, despite me dragging her to master's practices after we graduated. Thank you to my roommate, AJ. I think we can all agree I would have been lost without you, and I'm still sorry for all of those snoozed alarms before weightlifting. Thank you to Matt, Malaya, Henry, and my sister, Ligaya, who taught me to lead by example and compel both tenacity and caring out of those around me. Thank you to my parents, and Len and B, who sent me to this wonderful school and logged innumerable hours at hundreds of pools. While at CMC, my mom would wake up at 2 a.m. and drive down from Davis to my swim meets. And my dad, with his own Hall of Fame athletic achievements, took enough photos of each Stag and Athena teammate to have their own coffee table book. The two of them modeled dedication and commitment in a way I hope to impart on my own children. To Oscar, Rosie, and Fred, please remember that we can do hard things. And Oscar, when I'm trying to give you swim technique pointers, I hope you now realize I do actually know what I'm talking about. And thank you to the handsome man who lived across the hall in Marks, my husband, Sean, who from the beginning kept me sane and made me laugh and still does every day, even with our little circus in tow. So finally, a heartfelt thank you to CMS Athletics. At the very least, I was dreaming of a capstone experience for my aquatic career, but thank you for giving me so much more than I ever could have imagined. Thank you.
Thank you, Liesl, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Our next inductee is from football, Ken Stevens from the Harvey Mudd College founding class of 1961. Ken is being inducted posthumously. Stevens joined the combined Pomona-Claremont Harvey Mudd freshman football team as one of 3 Harvey Mudd students in 1957. His leadership, hard running, and fierce tackling won the respect of his teammates as a key contributor on offense, defense, and special teams. In 1958, Stevens was named to the Chemical and Engineering News All-American Honor Roll. Being a new team in the SCIAC, the Stags were not recognized with an all-conference selection until 1960. That year, Stevens, along with his teammate Vern Epley, CMC class of 1961, became the first Claremont Harvey Mudd Stags selected to the SCIAC all-conference team.
When Harvey Mudd College opened its doors to 48 students in September of 1957, Ken Stevens, a bright and athletic young freshman from Northern California, was already there waiting, being part of the nation's first tri-college football team, Pomona, CMC, and Harvey Mudd. A recently discharged U.S. Marine Sergeant, CMC's number 17 Don Doty recalled, Ken was not only a fast and elusive runner and a sure-handed pass receiver, he was the best tackler I ever saw. Quarterback Don Doty and 23 Ken Stevens would comprise one half of the CHM Stags' first varsity backfield in 1958. Not yet a member of the SCIAC in 1958, the young Stags football team was the first sport to compete that fall. Virtually every contest established program milestones by the freshman and sophomore dominated squad. First points ever scored by a CHM Stag, Ken Stevens on a 15-yard touchdown run versus Chino Men's Institute, a team of prisoners. The first ever victory by a Stags team came in week 2, October 11, 1958, versus the Marine Depot team of San Diego. Ken Stevens scored both touchdowns, including an 80-yarder, and rushed for over 130 yards in a 16-6 win. The Stags completed the inaugural season 4-4. Though ineligible for conference postseason honors, Ken Stevens was selected to the Chemical and Engineering News All-American Honor Roll. Ken again led the team in rushing and scoring in both 1959 and 1960 and finished among the conference leaders in both categories. In 1960, senior captain Ken Stevens was the leading rusher and kicked 2 conversions in the Stags' first victory over rival Pomona, 14-12. Ken and teammate tackle Vern Epley were the first CMS Stags athletes ever selected All-SCIAC.
Please welcome CMS Director of Athletics Erica Jasper and longtime Harvey Mudd College Professor of Chemistry and CMS Hall of Fame Committee member Jerry Van Hecke to accept the Hall of Fame plaque on Ken's behalf.
Well, you might imagine, this is a bittersweet time. But I want to first say, on behalf of Clara Stevens, Ken's widow, I'm just honored to be here to accept this recognition of Ken into the CMS Hall of Fame. Ken didn't rack up all the fancy statistics that so many of our other inductees have well deservedly done because they weren't available. But I think the video shows that he was certainly deserving of the recognition. Now, some of you might wonder why I'm up here. Clearly, I'm not going to make any football team, except as a bench warmer. But I've known Ken as a best friend for more than 60 years, as classmates in 1961. And I've known Claire and Ken as husband and wife since their wedding in 1961. I've also been privileged to watch the Stags and Stag athletics since September 1958. If you do the math, that's 64 years. I watched that Pomona game, and I can still remember the snap from center, the catcher putting the ball down, and Ken kicking that field goal. Sorry, PAT. Won the game. I want to believe that this plaque is not only a recognition of Ken, but all the members of those first Stag football teams. As I recall, there were some 17 members of the very first team. And as their coach, Jess Combs, described them, all of them knew 2 positions, and most of them 3. The 17 guys, you don't have a lot of choice. The other thing you should remember in those days is players generally went both ways, both offense and defense. As you may have gathered from the video, the Stags were not rated in SCIA the first couple of years around. And before they could join the league, they had to find opponents, and it was a mixed bag. I remember the first year that I started watching the Stags play as Stags. They fielded or they competed against teams like UC Riverside, which actually had just been formed in 1958. And you saw something about the Chino Men's Correctional Institute. They won some games, they lost some games. But what was most important was the legacy of dedication to their sport, their competitiveness, their sportsmanship that they exhibited both on and off the field. They established the tradition of scholar athletes that the CMS program so cherishes today. Indeed, all those early CMS teams, basketball, football, track, baseball, should be honored and recognized as foundational to the excellence they inaugurated that we have seen so well exemplified by today's scholar athletes inducted. I want to single out Harry Wright, CMC 71, for his dogged determination and efforts to find and support Ken's inductions. Those photographs you saw were his effort going through paper after paper, and there weren't a lot of them. We did get a lot of press those days, and putting them together for this program. In closing, I know that I join my 61 HMC founding classmates in being proud that Ken Stevens is now in the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry, for honoring Ken's tremendous achievements. Our fourth and final CMS swimmer to be inducted today is Ryan Teeples. Teeples won the 1991 NCAA Division III National Championship in the 400-yard individual medley and was a key performer on stag teams that won 4 Skyak championships and placed in the top 10 with a second place, third place, 10th place, and second place finish at NCAAs in his 4 years, adding 4 Skyak championships along the way. He was an 8-time individual event finalist at the NCAAs, including 3 top 3 placings. Ryan won 12 Skyak individual championships and swam on 8 winning relays, earning Skyak Swimmer of the Year in 1991.
My memories of Ryan are collected in a sense of a young man who wanted to be somebody on a really good team. Of course, concluding your senior year as national champion, as the team's greatest contribution award recipient, and the CMC Athlete of the Year, those stand out. We had an eventful 4 years. We had some crazy NCAA travel, and we bookended his career with 2 runner-up finishes at the NC2As.
Ryan's a standout stag because he was an incredibly hard worker, but more importantly, I think he really was the glue that held those teams together. We had such a great chemistry on that team. You know, he was a quiet leader, leading by example, making sure everyone felt welcome and part of the team, but working his butt off in the pool and swimming great at the most important meets.
We used to say attitude is everything. You always brought the right attitude, whether practicing, hanging with your teammates, or competing. After I graduated from CMC, I was proud to watch you grow. Your attitude set an example for your teammates, maturing you as a leader and resulting in your national championship 400 IM.
Of the great swimmers that preceded and followed Ryan, he helped contribute a lot of hardware to our team's success over the years. We won 4 Skyak swimming championships in his time. He won 11 out of 12 events that he swam at the meet. He was voted twice Skyak Swimmer of the Year. At the same time at NC2As, he was 7 times in the big finals, and he joined that select group of swimmers that got to stand on the top step of the award stand, earning a national championship in his senior season. Ryan, as a leader and a teammate, he was serious, he was humble, and always ready to share a good time with his teammates there. He was coached up by a great group of seniors in his freshman year, and when it was his turn as a senior to be a leader on our team, he was well prepared and ready for that upfront role. And we were rewarded with a big move, stayed focused on our goals for that season there, and we came from 10th to 2nd at the NC2As in his senior year.
Ryan Jeeps, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. You should be very proud of yourself. This is an amazing accomplishment.
Congratulations, Ryan.
This is so well deserved. I'm so happy for you. I mean, of course, I remember the great meets that we had together, but more importantly, I remember you as a great friend, really the best friend that I could have had. So congratulations, I couldn't be happier.
Congratulations. I hope you've enjoyed the run-up and the accolades today. These are very well deserved, and I'm so pleased that I can be part of your celebration and recognition. Congratulations, Ryan.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Ryan Teeples. Presenting Ryan with his CMS Hall of Fame plaque is Mike Sutton.
It just made me tired just reliving all that. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this amazing honor, and I'm humbled and proud to be inducted with such a great group of amazing athletes and people. I never wanted to go to Claremont. For those of you that may know, my father was hired as associate professor the year I was born to Claremont Men's College. And my earliest memories, 4 out of the first 5 years of life, I lived in campus-owned housing down Mills. And my mom would walk me, and eventually me and my sister, up to my dad's office when Mills was a through street, to his office in Bauer Center. And we would have lunch, and some years we'd watch fireworks and stuff out on the field. So I'd been around the school, and it was part of my DNA. In fact, Stag Swim School certifies that Ryan Teeples has earned a star toward the level of beginner. 1972. And so I would learn to swim in the same pool, not that nice pool. The pool that preceded that, I would cap my career several years later, I actually wanted to go to UCSD. I lived in Claremont, I grew up here. My neighbors were the Starks. And I couldn't imagine going to school where my dad worked. So I wanted to go to UCSD, and I had some, just a miserable recruiting trip down there. And Mike Sutton was always a presence. He knew my father and my mom very well, and I'm sure they were colluding in the background. But he called me one day and said, hey, look, I want you just to come down and, just see what we got. It'll be fun. So first time this had happened to me, and I'd been on a bunch of recruiting trips, I get here and we go into Mike's office, and he's got all these names on the board and people and times and all this stuff, and he goes, hey man, we're recruiting like these 4 people, and if we get you, you fill in this and this and this, and we're gonna go from way down here to way up here nationally. And I was so flabbergasted that someone had done some homework and put together, a plan. I was like, what? And then I had to, then I'm like, okay, this is weird, but I kind of want to go to CMC. And then I had to talk to my dad, because I was famous, and the Starks will know this. I was famous for running around campus with mohawks and, crazy hairdos and not so academic behavior. And so could my dad handle me being at the same school as him? He's the head of the econ department. So we cleared that hurdle, and I came here, and it kind of leads me into, Mike being such a strong presence in my life, and such an important mentor and coach and, fan, I guess. He just got me out of my head most of the time and allowed me to just compete. So thank you very much, Mike. I really appreciate that. I have to thank my teammates. Again, it's hard to do things without other people around you that you like, and especially when it's 5:30 in the morning. And we had a lot of fun times, and we worked hard, and I was proud to be on the teams that I was on, and probably more than all of the stuff, that matters to me the most, I think. I have to thank my parents. You know, being parents of two competitive swimmers for most of their lives is, you know, it takes a lot of hours and a lot of energy. And they helped my sister and I tremendously to get to where, you know, collectively we did in our careers. They are not here, but they are here, and they are here. I'd like to thank my sister. If she wasn't such a torpedo, we'd be sitting in a bar talking about what a mediocre soccer player I was. My dad taught me my very first lesson on efficiency. He said when I was 8 or 9, and my sister was setting like Southern California swim records as a 6-year-old. It is more efficient to take 2 kids to one workout than 2 kids to 2 different workouts. Ever the economist. So I became a swimmer, and I swam my tail off to not get beat by my little sister. So it's all your fault. I have to thank my kids. Allie, who's here, and Haley, who I hope's watching from back east. You know, I learn from you daily, and I love you tremendously. Liesl, I'm a crier, too. And my wife. We've been, you know, married 27 years. She is my rock, and she keeps me from doing all the stupid stuff I used to do when I was here. I love you very much. In the end, thank you again. Thank you very much for this tremendous honor.
Thank you, Ryan, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. Our final inductee this evening is Louise Tench Willard, track and field and cross country. Tench excelled as a 2-sport athlete and distance runner. In cross country, she was a 3-time All-West region runner and a 2-time All-American and SCIAC Runner of the Year. In the spring, she transitioned to track and field and was a standout there as well, earning an NCAA Division III All-American honors in the 3,000 meters with a 5th place finish in 1996 and 4th place in 1997.
One of my favorite memories of Louise as an athlete was that she came to Scripps College from Castellea High School up in the Bay Area, and at Castellea she had run 20:30 for a 5K, which in reality is relatively pedestrian for a top-notch college athlete. But through the time that she spent here, she developed not only as an athlete running down into the 17:30 range for the same 5K, but also conference champion, All-American, and just did a special job for us here. Somebody that I really appreciated in her work ethic and her improvement over her 4 years here at CMS. Also, one of the things that made her really unique is that she won our West Region meet by 40 seconds. 40-second victory is just unbelievable. It would be in football 56-2 would be equivalent. Not only was she an All-American, but building up to her senior year as that All-American, she was the SCIAC Athlete of the Year, the West Region Athlete of the Year, and an All-American. A pretty dominant performance by any male-female that we've seen at this college or actually in any region in the country. Her dominance was quite amazing. 3 years All-Conference, 3 years All-Region, and 3 times All-American. In 2 sports, actually. She was All-American in track twice and All-American in cross-country. Louise was a true giver in every sense of the word to her team, and always with a real positive attitude. I wish I had 1,000 Louise Tenches.
Louise, congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Enjoyed coaching you and seeing you develop into a dominant athlete. Led the cross team to a trophy at the NCAA championships, followed it up with 3 All-American honors.
You have now become a member of the CMS Athletic Hall of Fame. It's been my pleasure to have the opportunity to do this induction for you. I appreciate you asking me to do it as well, because you realize, I'm sure, how important you've been in my life and the life of CMS athletics, cross country and track in particular. I'd like to thank you for coming down, as well as Christian and Alex, to be with you today at this special time. And I just hope that you enjoy and will appreciate this honor for the remainder of your life.
Please welcome CMS Hall of Famer Louise Tinch Willard. Presenting Louise with her CMS Hall of Fame plaque is John Goldhammer.
All right. Well, I am very much well aware that I am the last one here, and this has been a very long afternoon. And I especially want to say thank you to all the kids out there. I know this has been very long, so I'll try to make it short. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Coach and Coach Kelly, for these kind words and for that beautiful video. And thank you to CMS Athletics for this incredible recognition. And congratulations to all of the inductees this year. It is a true honor to be part of this amazing group. And it is also an honor to be representing Scripps College here today. Upon reflecting on my time of being a student athlete, it brought back so many amazing memories, just like everyone else. And I've realized what an impact it has on me, on helping me to be the person that I am today. In particular, the impact and influence Coach Goldhammer has had on me and in teaching me about leadership that I've been using throughout my professional career. For example, how to support every single individual, especially when they're in need. How to bring out the best in everyone. Meet people where they are at, and building trust so that true feedback can be given when it's needed. And thank you, Coach Goldhammer and Coach Kelly, for being such positive role models for me beyond the sport. I also want to acknowledge and say thank you to all of my teammates who I created so many memories with and who helped me achieve my best. Running continues to be an important part of my life, though I don't wake up at 5:15 anymore or put in as many miles. It is also such a joy to see my son Alex start cross country in 7th grade and see how he enjoys it and building his own memories in the sport that I love. I am so thankful that Alex and Christian are here today, seeing how this experience played such a big role on my life. I also want to thank my mom and dad for sending me to Scripps. It was such a privilege. Thank you again to CMS for this honor and for bringing us all together in this beautiful ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise, and congratulations on your induction into the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame. To close today's celebration, please welcome Claremont McKenna College, William B. Arcee, Director of Athletics, Physical Education and Recreation, and George R. Roberts Fellow, Erica Perkins Jasper.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this very special celebration of the history and excellence of CMS Athletics. Before we depart for the reception portion of the evening, I would like to recognize and thank the members of the Hall of Fame Committee, and thank you for your service to CMS and helping select this incredible class. Thank you. I'd also like to give special thanks to our athletics advancement team. The legend himself, Mike Sutton. I feel like he should get a little round of applause. And his partner in crime, Chris Watts, who works tirelessly and has worked amazingly hard on this event. Chris Watts. Their hard work and attention for detail has been amazing. And last but certainly not least, the entire CMC Office of Events and Public Affairs teams who make every event here so magical. Thank you. Congratulations again to all our inductees and to your families, friends, coaches, and teammates who have been part of your journey. I really appreciated, especially the parents who are now excited that their children know they were really good at a sport. It's always a tough one at my house as well. I've really been moved by your stories and wowed by your accomplishments. And really thank you for showing the power and impact that athletics can have on us individually and also collectively as a community. Go Stags, go Athenas.
CMS alumni, friends, and families. Let's have one more big round of applause for the Ted Ducey CMS Hall of Fame Class of 2022. With the conclusion of the ceremony, we hope that you'll join us for a reception to continue the celebration. Thank you for sharing this very special day in celebration of the history and excellence of CMS athletics. Good night.